Hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be doing some more requested reaction videos, and this video is requested by your favorite Canadian YouTuber. So it's going to be Game Urara, the magazine that sold Hong Kong 97, and so much more. Oh, I bet. The ultra healthy video game nerd. Okay, so yeah, from depicting and titling and analyzing the title, I can assume that it's something to do with Hong Kong 97, and it's about a magazine that helped promote the video game Hong Kong 97, help it flourish. Well, I don't know if it really flourished, but help promote the game, I'm guessing. So that's what the magazine, I'm guessing, it was. It was helping to promote the game Hong Kong 97, which has a catchy tune, by the way. But yeah, and so much more. Of course, I gotta add that little note. But let's check out the video, shall we? Let's go. Do 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 do. Got a catchy song. Cute cat. Episode is more offensive than usual. Good. More offensive the better. I love offensive.
You may recall in the Hong Kong
Yay,
97
catchy song.
video that I stated the ad for the game was run in a magazine called Game Labo. This was a long-running magazine for game modding and hacking, which was first published in 1985
Exposing.
under the name Backup Katsuyo Technique, with the
What's
name
with the
change
flirtatious?
occurring in early 1994. It contained guides for how to modify consoles, cheat peripheral codes, and of course tons of info on how to use the Super Famicom floppy disk drives, or Magicoms. Despite the legal gray zone so much of this content falls under, Game Labo is an above-board magazine which is still published to this day. Since Kurosawa told me the ad was in Game Labo and we know the year the game was released, I figured it would just be a matter of flipping through a few issues. Well, I actually got somebody to go to the National Diet Library in Tokyo and searched through the entire catalog of Game Labo from 1995.
Damn.
And checked in a few other issues myself.
Calling in some favors.
Nothing came up. However, there was another much...
Alright, this song is starting to drive me insane.
That was active in the mid-90s.
I liked that first, but now it's...
Game Urara.
Ooh la la, ooh la la.
Labo was the Harvard Law School of Game Modifications. Then Game Urara was the
Ooh la
Law
la
School
la
of
la.
Law in rural Idaho. The pages are a schizophrenic mess of RGB mods, porn game strategies,
Oh,
and
come on.
pretty much anything with enough shock value to make the average person consider calling the cops. Game Urara ran for a mere 5 issues.
Very
and
rare,
after
6th
all that
issue,
searching,
Jesus.
I finally discovered the one and possibly only ad for Hong Kong 97 was in the very first issue. Right below a picture
Oh!
of an anime girl with her titties out.
What the fuck?
I've tried to
Like
keep this
scrambled
channel
eggs.
mostly family-friendly. I
Yellowed
want to talk
coloured it
about
up.
great games lost to time. I want to inspire gamers to dig deeper and experience something new.
Oh, look at
But I know what you all really want.
look at the pornography pictures of
You
anime
want it
girls.
nasty. You want the unbridled foulness of the culture that gave birth to Hong Kong 97. Are you ready to see what lies in the pages of the only magazine willing to advertise the worst game of all time?
This is gonna be insane, I bet you.
Get your asses ready.
Oh boy, here we go. What's
We'll
the
start with the
insanity?
tamer stuff. The very first article in the first issue of Game Urara was written by none other than Kowloon Kurosawa himself, the father of Hong Kong 97. It's a very basic introduction to how Magicoms work and showcases several models. There's a sort of continuation in issue 4, which goes into more detail about most of the major variations of Magicoms that were floating around at the time, and also reveals how these devices came into existence. The very first Magicom was produced in Taipei by a Mr. JSI working for a tiny electronics company called Front Far East. They called it a Super Magicom, which is how the general term came into use. Of course, these are hacker magazines, so they wouldn't be complete without pages and pages of codes for the Pro Action Replay and Exterminators, both Game Genie-like devices that were huge among gamers who lacked the basic hand-eye coordination to get better at games. I mean, hackers. Want to max out your stats in Chrono Trigger without putting in the work? Easy. Never lose health in Street Fighter 2? No problem. And for all those gamers who so desperately wanted to excel in the horse breeding simulator Derby Stallion, but just don't have the gaming guts to stick with it until the end, You can finally make the ultimate racehorse you've had so many wet dreams about. I'm sure demand for this one was through the roof. To be fair, they do also contain regular strategy guides, like moves lists for Fatal Fury and Street Fighter Alpha. Compared to nearly everything else in the pages of Game Urara, these sections feel disturbingly
ABCs.
sane. But forget that, we want the juicy stuff.
The juicy
In
stuff,
issue
okay.
1, there's an introduction of several games that were available for free on the web server of Aum Shinrikyo, the cult that was responsible for the Tokyo subway sarin gas attack. This was the
Damn!
biggest incident of terrorism in the history of Japan and had occurred only 3 months earlier, so running anything that wasn't an outright criticism of the group would have been the pinnacle of impudence. It's pages like these that make Game Urara extremely valuable for the preservation of game history, as, obviously, these games are no longer available anywhere, nor is there any captured footage. Unsurprisingly, they're just little screensavers or simple mini-games about the correct way to meditate, or exalting the divinity of its
Oh,
twisted
yes.
leader,
I remember
Asahara
this.
Shoko.
Yeah, I remember
Elsewhere in the
studying that
same
guy.
issue, there's also a short blurb
Gas
on
attack.
Mahaposha, Aum Shinrikyo's computer store. Yes, you heard correctly. The cult responsible for the Tokyo subway sarin gas attack ran a series of computer shops that sold PCs and accessories very cheaply by the standards of the time. Mainly because, well, they didn't have to pay for labor. It was ultimately just a way of getting more people to know about the group, but it was also a mainstay of Akihabara at the time, and reveals a tech savviness that many people wouldn't have expected. Just so no one can accuse me of chickening out and not revealing everything related to Aum Shinrikyo in the pages of Game Urara, in Volume 2 there's a sort of tongue-in-cheek analysis into the spiritual and social implications of the lyrics to a notorious song made by the group, called Sonshi March, Sonshi meaning leader or supreme master. And there's also a picture of this asshole cosplaying the divine leader, Asahara Shoko. Something tells me we won't be seeing this at Comic-Con anytime soon. Alright, let's get into the deep stuff.
Alright, the
Some
deep
of
stuff.
you may remember the Great Hanshin earthquake of January 1995, which nearly flattened the entire city of Kobe and significant parts of Osaka. Thousands of people died. It was an absolute tragedy. So what was Game Urara's contribution to the reconstruction efforts? How about a guide to looting abandoned buildings?
Oh, come
I
on.
kid you not, there are literal instructions for what kind of devices to look for in order to effectively steal people's credit card data, and what you'll need to build the perfect vending machine hacking kit. There's
Wow.
also an article with detailed instructions on how to rip the data from prepaid cards which were used at pachinko parlors, and a full-length strategy guide on how to cheat the bullet train in Volume 2. All
Jesus.
this in an officially published magazine.
You gotta love that.
Of course, this was long
Oh,
before there was so much
Jesus
free porn on the internet that
Christ.
avoiding it is harder than finding it.
Whoa, cover your
There are
eyes, kids.
articles on porn
We're gonna have to age
Lots
restrict some of this
porn
stuff.
There are pieces on PC porn, of course,
Oh,
which has always
boy.
been a thing in Japan, but the
Oh
unlicensed
boy,
edits
this
that
is gonna
snuck
get
their
me
way onto
demonetized.
consoles
This is
were
gonna get
clearly
me
more
copyright
intensive.
striked.
For example, despite
I'm
Nintendo's
fucked.
strict licensing requirements and
This is-
insistence on
this is-
keeping a family-friendly image, one of the most
Why is there a
notorious adult
cat
game
eyeball
series
next
from
to
the
her?
16-bit era
Well,
is
I guess
SM
it's a pussy,
Chokyosho
so
Hitomi,
yeah.
which sort of translates to Dominatrix Hitomi. This series, on the Super Famicom of all things, ran for 5 whole games and was often sold openly in game shops. Game Urara, being the upstanding publication that it was, contained an interview with the creator, whose company Seibu I'm assuming has nothing to do with the Seibu that developed the Raiden games. They would buy up cheap carts of Super Famicom games nobody wanted. Apparently most of these were Zico Soccer, replace the ROM inside the cart with their own, and slap a sticker over the cover. These were so widely available that complete copies are
Hope you
still
didn't blur out those
relatively cheap,
boobies.
despite being unlimited.
Cover your
There's
eyes.
also plenty on Hacker International and their offshoot Games
You've got to cover
Express,
up those
whose
boobies.
names are carved into the annals of porn game history. Here's a guide for AV Tanjo, a simulation game in which you raise a porn star. That sure would make for a great 6th grade report about what you want to become in the future. I'm guessing most of you
Oh,
know that
boy.
in Japan, the laws
We
against
have
pornography
Bush.
must be censored. Bit of a bummer, I know.
Oh
But don't
boy.
worry.
For those who
In
know
the
what I'm talking
fast-paced
about.
world of hackers, anything is possible.
Revenge of the Nerds or something.
With this 8-page guide and a couple readily available tools, you too can experience every porn star's secret flower garden in all its natural glory. On your computer screen, of course. My personal favorite running column from Game Urara is Motteru dake de Jigoku Yuki, or translated loosely, you're going to hell just by owning this. These were contributed by our dear friend Mr. Kurosawa and follow his journeys of buying the most despicable, obscene things or services he can possibly find.
Jesus.
The first article is about his experience buying a set of 15 erotic audio tapes from America for homosexuals. But he's not gay, of course. So why buy gay porn? Because edgy. Or how about the time he tried buying a few bottles of drugs known as poppers, which are often used as muscle relaxants and aphrodisiacs by the gay community. Again, definitely not gay. This was strictly for research purposes. And then there was the time he paid $20 to learn the ultimate pickup technique. This involved sending in fan mail to women's magazines, pretending to be a woman complaining about her failed relationships, waiting for replies from other women, and then suggesting to hook them up with a friend. The friend, of course, being yourself. You know,
It's
I
pretty
might
smart.
try that.
It's pretty smart.
And
Gotta
the
give it
ads.
credit.
Oh, the ads. Countless hours of entertainment could be derived simply by browsing the insane services and contraptions sold in the front and back of each issue, as you wonder, is there any product they wouldn't accept? Magicons are just the beginning. You've got all varieties of mosaic removal devices, fortune rocks, machines that supposedly make you grow taller, and circumcision clinics. Real discreet, guys. Of course, there are all kinds of ads for porn video shops and mail order services.
Oh, this is getting
but
awkward.
they're easily outnumbered by ads for phone sex clubs, which must have been hugely popular at the time. There are even ads for all the equipment you'll need to set up your own phone sex service.
Christ, so they
Goodbye,
still do
9 to
phone
5.
sex services these days.
Seriously, I could go on and on about all the crazy
It's like
phenomena
$5
these
a minute.
magazines covered. How to make your own headgear.
You better make
which
use
even
of those
after reading
16
through, I still
seconds.
have no
You wouldn't
clue the
work fast,
function of.
boys.
Sick videos of
You're gonna
mental
be paying out the
institutions
arse.
around the world. It just doesn't end. And remember, this is also the place where I found the ad for Kamikui Shikimura Monogatari, the PC game parodying Aum Shinrikyo, which was also sold under the Happysoft name just like Hong Kong 97, but apparently developed by a different person. Let's go back to Game Labo for a moment, the other hacker magazine I mentioned at the beginning of this video. I may have overstated its wholesomeness. I mean, compared to Game Urara, yeah, it's an upstanding institution, but still, it was all about circumventing the rules. Apparently, someone working at Game Labo must have felt personally challenged by Game Urara and its complete disregard for the standards of good taste, and decided that, just once, they would go one step further. I'm guessing most of you realize that Japan loves its PC porn games.
Oh, yes.
From the earliest days a home computer could display an image even remotely similar to an anime girl, pornographic adventure
Oh,
games have
boy,
been
blur
a
out some of
mainstay
this stuff.
underground culture in Japan. They're produced at the rate of sewage pumping into a septic tank, and there must be hundreds of thousands by now.
It still goes on
What not
today.
as many people
Jesus.
might know is that Japan also loves its fleshlights. The Tenga brand may have expanded into the US, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are countless variations of squishy silicone cylinders for every preference, whether you like it smooth and silky or rough. There are even fleshlights with half a body attached,
Jesus.
just in case. Now, the one sentence no rational person ever should have thought is, you know, it sure would be nice if there was a way I could use my fleshlight to play a porn game on my PC.
How does that work?
But it would seem I've misunderestimated human beings. Friends, I present you with the Fleshlight Controller.
What?
In the October 1994 issue, Game Labo ran an article showing...
Well, it's kind of like the virtual
the
reality
Fleshlight
headset if you're
controller,
watching porn or
but
something
as
like that, I
every
guess.
single PC gamer in Japan is
You could
also
have like
an
something
electrical engineer,
like a
instructions for
auto
how to
blowjob
make
thing.
his very own.
You know,
And if I'm seeing correctly, they're even using it to play
some sort of
Puyo
auto
Puyo.
blowjob with a virtual reality.
want
I don't know.
every single player at BlizzCon to show up with one of these next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna start
Now
swinging
that
them
we've
around,
arrived at the absolute
smacking
bottom
them
of
people over the head with
degeneracy,
them.
I can finally end this video.
I'm gonna.
Game Urara, it's knuckin' futz.
Oh boy, yeah, I just want to smack some people over the head with a flashlight, whatever you call those things. Oh boy. That was awkward. Thank you, your favorite Canadian YouTuber. That was that was real that was awkward. I mean that was the most awkwardest reaction video I think I've ever done. I mean I've done, but there was sort of a topic about pornography and you know, sexual toys, of course, a very, very charming way to get me comfortable in my seat and not sweat me down. No, this was fascinating in a weird, bizarre way, in a strange, sort of weird, dimensional way. The magazine that sold Hong Kong 97. Well, fuck me. That must make me Jesus. No, this is just awkward. I don't really know what to say, but I can tell you this. If you wanna, if you wanna start using a flashlight, one of those sex toys, those stroking things while playing video games, you really need to kind of focus which you want to use first, because you remember you gotta have two hands on the controller. So I don't really know how that's gonna work. And generally, if you've got a girlfriend, I say just have a girlfriend do all the work. Not that I'm just saying, but just saying. You know, you just play video games, let the girlfriend do all the work, or the boyfriend, whatever your preference is. Whatever, no judgment. You know, whatever works, whatever floats your boat is perfectly fine with me. You know, whatever works, it is cool. You know, as long as you get the job done. What side, you know. But either the case, this is very fascinating, very interesting, very disturbing, and very traumatizing. So, traumatizing. So, if any kids are watching this, please forgive me for this inappropriate content. You know, keep your eyes covered. Yeah, this was awkward. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give a like, comment down below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you like my content. If you enjoy my content, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.